Listen up, America. We've got a financial emergency brewing that could leave millions of our most vulnerable citizens stranded without their lifeline payments. And you won't hear about this crisis from the mainstream media until it's too late. Picture this. It's March 2025. The snow is melting in Chicago as 79-year-old Vietnam veteran Robert checks his mailbox for the Social Security check that pays his rent and buys his heart medication. But the envelope isn't there. He checks again the next day. And the next. By the time Robert realizes his paper checks have been permanently discontinued, he's already missed a payment, triggering a domino effect that leaves him facing eviction and rationing pills. This isn't some dystopian fiction. This will be reality for millions of Americans if we don't sound the alarm right now about the government's dangerous phase-out of paper Social Security checks. Let me break this down in brutal, simple terms that Washington doesn't want you to hear. Starting in 2025, the federal government is eliminating all paper Social Security checks. No exceptions, no grandfather clauses, no mercy for those who can't adapt. Every single payment, whether retirement benefits, disability checks, or survivor payments, will be delivered only through direct deposit or the direct express debit card system. Now, if you're under 50 and comfortable with technology, you're probably thinking, good, who still uses paper checks anyway. But here's what that privileged perspective misses. We're talking about 4.3 million real human beings, our parents, our grandparents, our disabled neighbors, who still depend on those paper checks arriving like clockwork every month. These aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. They're elderly women in rural Alabama who've never used a smartphone, homeless veterans without fixed addresses, dementia patients who can't remember online passwords, and Amish communities that deliberately avoid modern banking. The government claims they're modernizing the system, but here's what they're not telling you loudly enough. This transition is happening way too fast, with grossly inadequate support for those who need help the most. While slick press releases talk about convenience and efficiency, nobody in power is properly addressing the human catastrophe waiting to happen when 3.1 million seniors over 75, many with failing eyesight and memory issues, suddenly can't access their money. 600,000 severely disabled Americans who lack the cognitive ability to navigate this change get cut off. Roughly 40% of rural beneficiaries without reliable internet or transportation get stranded. An estimated 250,000 homeless recipients with no mailing address fall through the cracks. This isn't hypothetical. We've already seen previews of the coming disaster during smaller test runs of the system. Take the case of 81-year-old Doris in Tampa, Florida. When her local Social Security office helped her switch to direct deposit last year, they entered her bank routing number wrong. Doris didn't realize the mistake until 2 missed payments left her facing eviction from her senior living facility. By the time the bureaucracy fixed the error, she'd accumulated $800 in late fees and nearly lost her apartment. Or consider James, a 68-year-old disabled coal miner in West Virginia. When his paper check stopped during a pilot program, James, who lives 40 miles from the nearest bank, had to spend $120 on round-trip cab fares just to access his money through a direct express ATM. That's nearly a week's worth of groceries gone just to get his own benefits. These aren't isolated incidents. They're warning shots across the bow of what's coming nationwide in 2025 if we don't act now. And here's the part that makes my blood boil. The government's so-called notification system is failing the very people who need the most help. Those important-looking blue and white letters from the Social Security Administration, most seniors mistake them for Medicare junk mail. The phone notifications only go to people already enrolled in digital systems. The website updates, completely useless to the millions without internet access or computer skills. So let me cut through the bureaucratic nonsense and give you the straight talk Washington won't. If you or someone you love still gets paper Social Security checks, here's your step-by-step survival guide for those with bank accounts. Setting up direct deposit is easier than you think, but timing is everything. You'll need 3 simple things. Your Social Security number. It's on your current checks or benefit statements. Your bank account number. Your bank's routing number, found at the bottom of your checks or in your mobile banking app. The fastest way to switch is online at ssa.gov/deposit. But if you're helping an elderly relative, I strongly recommend calling 1-800-772-1213 instead. Here's a pro tip. Call on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. local time to avoid the worst hold times. Have all information ready before calling, and insist on getting a confirmation number before hanging up. For those without bank accounts, the Direct Express debit card isn't perfect, but it's far better than missing payments. Key facts you need to know: no credit check or bank account required. Free ATM withdrawals at 60,000 plus locations nationwide, including most Walmart and CVS stores. One free replacement card per year if lost or stolen. Mobile app available to check balances for those with smartphones. You can sign up online at usdirectexpress.com or by calling 1-800-333-1795. Warning: beware of scam sites pretending to be Direct Express. Never pay anyone to help you enroll. For family members helping elderly relatives, physically check their mail for SSA notices. Many come in unmarked envelopes. Schedule a specific time to sit with them and make the call. Mornings are best. Write down the confirmation number in multiple places. Don't trust memory. Mark your calendar to verify the first digital payment arrives on time. Special cases requiring immediate action. Homeless recipients must switch to general delivery at a post office now. Severely disabled individuals may need a representative payee appointed. Memory care patients require legal guardian involvement. Amish communities can request rare religious exemptions. The government claims the deadline is 2025, but here's what they're not emphasizing. Warning: final paper checks will stop being mailed after March 2025. Warning: winter 2024 is the last safe window to avoid holiday system freezes. Warning: scammers are already running. Help you switch, cons targeting seniors. Let me be brutally clear. The difference between acting now versus waiting could literally be life or death for some Americans. We're talking about your grandfather having heat next January, your disabled sister keeping her medication schedule, your family avoiding predatory payday loans when checks don't arrive. I've personally sat with tearful children of dementia patients struggling to navigate this change. I've consoled veterans who survived war zones only to feel abandoned by this bureaucratic transition. The human cost of progress doesn't appear in government press releases, but it's etched on the faces of Americans being left behind. So here's my challenge to you today. This week, identify every paper check recipient in your life. Next week, help them transition or connect them with local aid. Ongoing, verify that first digital payment arrives smoothly. Need help beyond this video? Critical resources include local area agencies on aging. Find eldercare.acl.gov. Social Security field offices. Appointment info at ssa.gov/locator. Veteran service organizations, DAV, VFW, American Legion. The hard truth? The system won't adequately protect our most vulnerable. That duty falls to us, to people who care enough to watch videos like this. So share this information urgently. Email it to relatives. Play it at senior centers. Post it in community groups. Those 5 minutes of effort today could prevent someone's financial catastrophe tomorrow. Drop a comment with your transition questions or stories. Subscribe because next week we're exposing the shocking gaps in Medicare's new digital push. And most importantly, act now, because when 2025 comes, I didn't know won't put food on the table when those paper checks stop arriving.